your thunder and showing all your crooked hands. Ladies and gentlemen, boils and ghouls, hi, it is Keats Ross. This is the PRAGMAGICK weekly liminal stream. If you can hear me in the comments, I'd love to know. If you can't, I'd love to know that. I'm just going to jump into it. Tonight we have a very special situation. It is my esteemed pleasure to learn about something that I had never really investigated or discovered before. Tonight we will be transdimensional wayfaring, a cosmic dreamscape completely new to me. Naturally, I gravitate to the folks who ooze art, who ooze their oeuvre with everything they do, and only sometimes they are ones who decide to usher enlightenment to wonderful caverns of metaphysics and purpose, and tonight is one of those times. Naviae Allora is a blood witch, a soothsayer from a long line of genetic clairvoyeurs, wandering this world like a Jenny Appleseed, dispatching beauty and magical currents to everyone she touches. I've always been reticent to discuss astrological forecasting, especially when it comes to the tropical and the numerous interpretations of popular West types of astrology. However, I am rebellious, but tonight Naviae is a Mayan Dreamspell Astrologer, a soothy songstress of Galactic astrology. And tonight we investigate this current personally, sharing personal charts and forecasting tomorrow's U.S. election. Galactic, or Mayan astrology, is a largely unique astrological dominion that deserves introspection and prominence. Naviae bleeds between the many scenes of many different currents, and she has the know-how, the life experience, and the joy enough for everyone to bend an ear. Please welcome Naviae Allora.
Aloha. Thank you for having me, Keats.
Of course. So good to see you and
See you.
Talk with you personally and in a video current such as this. So that's very cool.
Absolutely. Am I bright enough? It's just starting to get dark in Hawaii.
Oh yeah. No, we can see all of your wonderful tapestries and everything. It's very pretty.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. I want to thank everyone who's here in the chat. Like I said, tonight I'm really excited. I get to learn something kind of about myself from a current that I have little to no idea of. And it wasn't until I'd met Naviae that I realized like how cool and important this realm of astrology is. So I thought maybe you could go maybe back a little bit and talk about how Galactic or Mayan astrology came to you, like what your field is within it, and just more about yourself.
Sure. So I like to say that the Galactic astrology or Mayan Dreamspell Astrology is the astrology of synchronicity and natural time. And it really called to me. I didn't know anything about it. And I went to get my cranial sacral training, of all things, up in Hartwood in Northern California. And once I arrived there, it's also a community. A lot of people live there and work there and go to school there. And it's like a little oasis. So it's this super potent high mountain vibe. And I felt really kind of blown away the entire time that I was there. And people were one after the other asking me, what's your Dreamspell astrology or what's your Mayan astrology? And I had no idea what they were talking about. And I had been into divination for, 15 years by then. And I was like, what is this you speak of? And they looked at my chart for me and told me, and it just resonated on such a deep level that I was sort of, infected with that. I have to learn more about this. And this was in 2000, 2001. So the internet was not what it is today. And I couldn't really find anything on it. I was hard pressed to find information. And a few months later, I ended up traveling around and again meeting people that kept asking me about it. And I started to make plans to go to Central America and just immerse myself there and learn and visit sacred sites and whatnot. And then I literally got rerouted by the universe and ended up in Hawaii and was invited to live in this community right on the volcano. And when I arrived at this, intentional community, I met this, she was from Quebec, so she had a really cool accent. And she said, aloha. And I said, aloha. And she said, what is your Mayan astrology? Just like that. And I looked at her and I said, red overtone moon. I said, but I don't know what that means. And she said, I've been calling for you. She said, well, are you staying here now? And I said, yeah. And she said, okay, well, we can play together. And every day for months and months, we would wake up and have tea. And she would say, today is a red galactic serpent day. And that is la la la. And she'd tell me all about it. And she would say, my friend so-and-so is a serpent. Let's go meet them. And it was just a really day by day immersed in the calendar and learning about it through this mentor.
So it's been said on A Wandering Witch, it's a brilliant podcast you do. You say that it's been 20, I guess 2001 you were saying it's about 20 years, right? Of just really diving deep, living it, as you've said. And also, like I said in the intro, Jenny Appleseeding, those currents into people, into their consciousness. So, among my research, and I've shared this with you, a quick Google search for Mayan astrology, there's a lot of different facets of it. There's probably not the one, Dreamspell is a different one. What is the difference, the whole, kind of disparity between, say, getting your Mayan sun or whatever for your birth chart, or, what a Dreamspell astrology is?
Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of going through this with tropical versus actual sky or new sidereal right now, where I feel like I have to kind of widen my scope of what's actually going on in the sky versus the tropical charts.
So you move with the constellations, or do they stay static?
Well, this is what's going on with tropical and sidereal.
Right, exactly.
Personally for me right now, I'm going through this sort of evolution transition, dropping all of my moorings really, and trying to just feel into what's really wanting to be connecting. So when I was learning the dream spell with my teacher Fantasia Odus, I thought this was it. It was never explained to me that this was something separate from what the ancient Mayas were following. We didn't go there, right? Yeah. So a few years into this, I'm fully invested. I'm like a Mayan astrology pilgrim at this point. And I met a few people who also were into the calendar, and they said to me, are you following the dream spell or the long count? And I was like, what? Wait,
they're
what?
Separate? Yeah.
Yeah. So I did a lot of deep dives into the long count and what's the difference. And there was a man, he's passed away since, but his name was Ian Zeller, and synchronistically went to some of his workshops. He was all about the long count. So I started to do this, I don't want to connect to any of it. I'm just needing to just disconnect from all of it because I'm sourcing from this and it's too much. So years later, I met someone named Tree, who's another wizard in this capacity. And he said, Naviae, he said, it's all valid. The long count was there for us as a 3D way of a lens, a 3D lens. And the dream spell was actually channeled and co-created by the Arguellises around the harmonic convergence like 1987, I believe. So this was like a channeled system that incorporates the 1320 synchronistic natural time that the Tzolk'in and the long count uses, but it's its own kind of newfangled thing. So I started to ask people, everyone that I met, here, this is your dream spell, or not even saying, but here's one, here's the other. What do you think? And like 5 out of 6 people were dream spell all the way. It made more sense and resonated with them. And so I've been kind of working with both, observing both, recognizing them for what they both are. But because I was trained in the dream spell, I'm feeling more like resonant with my own interpretation of myself as the dream spell astrology.
It seems a bit more thorough too, right? It's a bit, there's because I looked at the chart and all the different like color coordinations and different, I mean, I probably should bring one up, a chart for people to see later. But it's a beautiful calendar. It goes through its own, purveyance of that. Because like I said, if you look at Mayan astrology, sites of birthday calculators, it's very much like horoscope or very, very tropical, kind of sun sign.
Yeah.
Based.
The dream spell made it sort of like a game and made it more accessible for us in the modern time. And they also synchronized it with the 13 moon calendar. So there's a push there to like access the natural time through the moon calendar, and also overlaying the Tzolk'in, which was one of the many calendars that they followed.
Now, does this just kind of, does this soothsay, kind of wants and fictions of a future lineage of self, or is it just mainly like who you are and knowing this is how you should battle against the currents of time, like, or is it kind of both?
I feel like it is a way to understand yourself in a system. It's a facet of yourself that deserves attention and awareness, and it's apples and oranges from any other astrology system. But it shines a light on a different facet, just like the sidereal and the tropical and everything else does.
Right. And you had mentioned that you take it all, like you kind of cross-pollinate all of it. Yeah, and I love that. It's not about covering bases as much as like eschewing variables, of the self from different reading.
Right. I used to work at a witch shop for many years, and there was multiple readers, and some of our clients would see a few of us, and they would sit down, and after the reading they would say, that's what so and so said, but this way. And it was like we all complemented each other and gave a different, it's like we all have access to a different side of the diamond.
Right. You used that analogy before, the diamond. I love that, because of how pristine but absolutely disparate from each, angular facet it is. It's a really cool analogy. I've always liked that.
Thank you.
So I thought, we might be just blowing over people's heads right now with this. And I thought like a cool way to maybe see it in action was to do some charts. Now I told you that I've always been reticent, to do charts. I've always had this kind of rebellious nature in myself especially with tropical or sidereal astrology, just to not want to listen to it, but it usually ends up being correct. I also don't know my birth time exactly, so it's always been very grumpy for me. But I gave you my information. You have Mary's information, and I thought we could go over some of that.
Yes, I would love that. I also want to say with the dream spell or galactic astrology, they don't require the time. It's only the day, which I thought was kind of interesting.
how's my mic now? Is that much better?
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Totally. I don't know why it clicks back to this when I click it. So that whole intro was the exact issue I had last time. So thank you, Mary, in the comments. Thank you for clearing that up. It almost killed me last time. If it's not a live stream that does it, it's probably going to be something else. So I want to thank everyone who's here in the chat. Speaking of which, Rivers, Amanda Pomander, Oswald Spangler, Brandon Young, Michelle Embry, John Aside, Jerry Cthulhu, who hosted you last week on a wonderful
Yes.
Nox Mente.
That was awesome. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Rivers. Hi, everybody.
John Aside. I also have Michelle Embry. She sent me a Palo Santo and Cypress spray. So we've been doing
I love
that.
me some Palo Santo.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mary, for doing that. I wanted to mention too, before we get too in deep with this, that A Wandering Witch is a wonderful podcast that you host. When did you start doing that, and like, what was the genesis of that?
I started A Wandering Witch podcast in, I guess, mid-June of this year, and I had gone on Light in the Void radio show and just had such a good time being on that show that I thought to myself, well, why couldn't I do, some sort of low-key podcast with my very limited tech off-grid out here in the jungle? And just sort of was like, all right, hold my nose and go for it. And just really wanted to tell my story and get to talk to these everyday people that I know that are so magical, not writing books or doing anything that is in extreme public eye, but that I know to be super magical and witchy and awesome and creative. So that was kind of the idea, just in lieu of me being able to really focus enough to write my book right now. It's like a bite-sized way of getting my creativity out there and getting my thoughts, and sharing with other people who might be interested in the same kind of things.
Mm-hmm. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
So what's your book about? Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, there's two. One is I don't have children, and I feel like I didn't really get to be a child, and not in the way that most people get to be a child. So I have a very vivid inner child life right now, or for many years. Like, she's with me all the time, and we get to play in the sense of like I'm colorful and playful in that sort of like childlike. I live with that. And I wanted to write a children's book for my inner child, and also I have a lot of clients who have children who were like me, mystical and sensitive and witchy. So that's kind of what the first book is. And the second one is just my wanders and my personal story. Like my memoirs.
Memoir. Yeah.
My memoir. Can you hear that fan?
Yeah, what was that?
Okay, sorry, I apologize for the weird sound, but so the other day I was producing the last episode of A Wandering Witch podcast with my friend Raven, and we talked about magic in the occult, or music in the occult. And the first time he was on, the house across the street blew up. Like literally? Literally. I had my earphones on, and I was looking off the lanai, and I saw big billows of gray smoke and thought, oh no, we had to evacuate. And then a few days ago, I heard that fan, and I thought, I had never heard that before. What's going on? And then I see smoke and sparks, and the whole solar contraption caught on fire. Oh my God. There's only been 2 weird fire things this whole time I've ever lived here. And they both happened the day I was about to publish Music in the Occult Part 1 and 2. I don't know. That's awesome. I heard the first one. That's my big confluence with these things is my work within those. So I really enjoyed that first one. But
That's hilarious. It's yeah, it's always when you sit down and record. I mean, those are what I used to call the aminals, you know, like the ghostly sounds that kind of just show up whether you want them or not. Yeah.
The weird vacuum cleaner sounds and
Yeah. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Well, all right. I'm getting a little nervous, but yeah, you want to jump into some chart? If you want, you can send me links so I can show stuff as far as, whatever you need in the chat.
Gosh.
But if it's not necessary, it's not necessary. Just let it offer.
I don't think I could pull that off right now.
No worries. Yeah.
But yeah, I can hold up my little graphics. So
Cool.
these are all
better.
mostly handmade a long time ago. And I'm just old school. Some of these my teacher gave me and I can't part with them. So
I love it. That's way better.
They're not high quality, but they're
also I should give a caveat that, you charge for these and I found a loophole into getting a free reading. But if you can, please acquire her services in doing this.
Thank you. Awesome. So we're going to look at the dream spell first, which is the more modern interpretation of the Tzolk'in. And I'll show you this is what the Tzolk'in looks like. Can you see okay?
Yeah, so are the pinned ones, is that the constellation I'm looking at? Like those little moons or whatever I'm seeing?
So it's 20 tribes down and 13 tones across.
Okay.
And that makes the whole chart is 260 days. And they say that this is like the human gestation period, approximately how long it takes for a human to come to fullness. And then the 1320 is that natural frequency of time. And by us following a 12-month calendar and a 60-minute, 60-second time, that is a harmonic of space. So it's like people can own you for a chunk of your time with that 1260.
Yeah.
I know. So is it sinister? Is this, I don't know, but this is
makes sense.
Kind of the philosophy and why it's important to get into natural time. Okay. So I'm going to show you here. So you're a yellow warrior in the dream spell, Keats, and you are a 10. So that's your block right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a 10, baby. So every person ever born sits in one of these squares. So it's important to see like where your square is. And are you on the inhale? Are you on the exhale? Are you in the center? Are you in one of these little shaded boxes, which is known as a gap day or a galactic activation portal day, or I call it a portal day. But it's a super witchy day. And Miss Mary June's on a portal day in the dream spell. Yeah. So you want to look at where your origin of the wave spell is. And for you, you come in as a hand. So it's like you're a hand because you're in that initial wave. The hand initiates for you a 13-day cycle. And you're number 10 in that 13-day cycle. The 10 is the manifestation tone.
Okay.
So you should be able to manifest like a mofo, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's an ability or a magical quality that all the 10s I've met have, that I've knowingly met have, like in a creepy way. Like, I need to have this happen. Poof, would you like this, sir? And you're like, yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Mary is laughing in the background.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love it. You want to sidle up to a 10 every now and again.
Right.
So you could say that you're a hand manifesting as a warrior. So the hand is like that initial kind of core energy of who you are. And the hands are here to accomplish. They're like the healing energy of creation. Through accomplishment, the hand is healing. So you want to be doing, you want to be producing, you want to be manifesting into reality your dreams. And the warrior end of it is about, like you said, you're a rebel, right? The warriors are
I was being a little
questioners.
facetious, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I feel that though. I mean,
Yeah.
the warriors are here to question authority, question everything. Why are we doing it this way? All the warriors that I know, and my partner is actually a warrior, they do things not because they're told to do them, but it's because they make sense for them. Like one of his philosophies is, I shouldn't have to follow a rule that I didn't make.
Yeah, I love that.
I can't argue with that. You know,
Yeah.
it's like very autonomous.
Or I'll be the judge of that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I have to say about the warrior. Another aspect of them is their power of intelligence. Their Mayan word for the warrior is ki, which is like the owl or the vulture. There's a wisdom there. There's a old ancient, I'm tapped into earlier cultures, like maybe antediluvian, pre-history kind of stuff. There's a really fun kids are warrior kids. They're the ones that are never doing what they're told because they want to know why in order for them to have to toe the line. But they're awesome because there's wisdom there. There's wisdom in the warrior.
I like it. Hashtag Keep Keats.
Keep Keats. CIB.
Yeah, CIB. Yeah.
And I'll show you what it looks like. It's like your little warrior shield.
Oh crap! That looks like a Zia. That looks like my that's this. I don't know if it's gonna blow out.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah. It's the Zia. It's the New Mexican symbol for the sun, or the Native American Navajo symbol for the sun. But that's funny. Yeah. Little sigil in the middle.
Yeah. I think it's so beautiful. I've actually decoded 2 women that I told were blue hands, and they were like, look, and there was a Hamsa.
Yeah.
On their arms.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know. It's interesting.
Oh, Michelle says hold it up again.
The warrior? Yep.
Yeah, that's a question everything Zia.
Yeah. So fearlessness, respect, embodied strength is another thing. And the personality is deep, serious, and realistic. I know. The paradox is domineering versus being dominated.
Yeah,
that could be fun though. And issue, self-consciousness and personal insecurities, and the response is to be comfortable with authority within yourself and with others.
I like that. Yeah.
That feels
all
good.
Right. That does feel good. Yeah. That's funny. I didn't really investigate too deeply about, so each day or each little cycle have its own little sigil like that?
Yeah.
That's
every
cool.
tribe.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so it rotates. So it rotates every 20 days. We're at a warrior again. It just goes through the cycle, but it's not going to be a 10 warrior again for another 260 days.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Very cool.
Do you want to grab Miss Mary?
I would love to. Miss Mary June. Slither on hither.
Last time I was in this chair, I ate crap.
Oh yeah, that's right. Last time she snuck up, she fell.
Oh no.
Not this time. Here, so we'll do. You can take this.
Always get this
we can share ear gunk.
Aloha. Hi, Miss Mary June.
But I can see you.
Yeah, there you go. Can you hear? Here.
Check.
As a matter of fact, why don't you just take this for here?
Oh, no, I'm brilliant. No. Okay. We're good.
Okay. Cool.
Don't leave me. It's like a squeaky chair. Awesome. So, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Hi.
Awesome.
Nice to meet
Hi.
you. Thanks for doing this for us. This is so cool.
So fun. I love doing couples relationship readings and even people in the same families. It's so interesting to see where people come in at and how they relate to each other, that interpersonal relationship. So you and I are tribe mates, just for the record. I'm a moon also. in the
and it's red
in the dream spell. Yeah.
And we both have those mesas too.
Yeah. So for those Egyptian folks or Egyptian mythology folks out there, I should say, doesn't this remind you of Nuit? Do you see that?
Anyone?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The Nuit or Nut. She's the Egyptian sky goddess.
Oh, okay.
That's what it looks like to me if it was blue or black. But
right.
Anywho, so this is Muluk, or the water or the moon. The keywords for the moon is cycles, water purification, flow, and connecting in with your own magic. A lot of people I know who are moons are super mystical, like off the charts mystical. And it's that power of universal water, like connecting things. And it's kind of a joke, but if I'm watching like a flash of a clip of a movie or something, I'll say, oh, that person was from, and it's like 1979, a cameo in one movie, but I saw it once and now I know that that's that actress 30 years later or whatever. It's a weird like facial or energetic connection recognition that the moons have. And it's not just me, I see it in a lot of moon tribe folks that I have known or read for. But so
that sounds a lot like me.
I know. It's like your Captain reference.
Captain Trivial.
Captain Reference.
Trivial Pursuit. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the World Bridger wave. So you're way up here, and you are, let's see, self-existing moon, which means you're tone 4 in that wave spell. 1 to 13, you come in at a 4. So where Keats is a 10 manifesting, the tone 4 is like creating structure. So like 1, everything is united, and actually you two together make a 1. Just saying.
Shazam.
Yeah. And everything is like, oh no, it's good. Yeah, it's called a magnetic tone. So it's like this, we're unified in a purpose, and we're here to like connect and okay, now focus, where are we going with this? It's like a kind of energy. 2 is polarizing, and then 3 is activating, and then 4 is you. So 4 is the structure, self-existing, like I need to be able to know that I'm okay on my own, and I'm going to be grounded, and like maybe that's what this is about for you. Like I'm a 5, so you already create the house, and then I come in the middle and I just give radiance to the structure. But 4 is about the structure. I don't actually build anything, but you're here to build. You're here to like anchor, ground, create, define, measure, take stock of things, and like be here in the world in that kind of way. Like, how can I be form, you know?
No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
That's super fun.
Yeah. I'm just like a loaded gun, and she's like, aim.
But it's interesting.
No.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh.
So
I like the structure.
The two of you together make a serpent, a magnetic serpent. And like I was saying earlier, that's what my partner and I make, because he's a warrior also. So we have a warrior and a moon making a serpent together. And this is the glyph. It's called Chichan in the Mayan, Quiche.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's an instinctual inner knowing, very like in your body know stuff, instinct in that way, like a pulsing of there's no mental thinking about it, you just instinctually know. And it's a feeling like how like in your animal nature kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know, it like bypasses the mental construct. And cool thing about the serpents is there's that instinctual animal nature that's being honored there, and then you have this life force that is being carried with it. So it feels like a higher purpose in a way. And it being a 1 magnetic, it is the tone of purpose. So it's pretty cool. I'll read the paradox for the serpent is spiritual integrity versus desires of the material world. And the issues are experiencing transformations, challenges, and victories unconsciously. So this is where the moon, where Mary can help with this aspect, because the moons understand ritual. The moons understand marking occasions in a sacred way. Even informally, there's something about the moons that understand how to make things, how to make the mood feel initiatory or celebratory. And then the response is learn that change and transformation are part of the process. So things are going to shift and change. The serpent is about letting things evolve in trust, because you know that they're going to be okay, or then you know that whatever skin that needs to be shed, I'm going to evolve into something better than I was before. That serpent, it doesn't feel needy or clinging when I see couples. It's like, you get to be you, I get to be me, and we're going to connect, and it's real. It's not honest. It's a really deep, not superficial kind of relationship.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm into her for her, not into her because she's me. Yeah.
Yeah. She can be just that awesome moon that she is. The Muluk. Yeah.
No, actually, he just came up with that on his own. He wrote me this very beautiful letter that I woke up to on Halloween, and he said it towards the end that, like, he said, "You are free," he told me, and then went on to just reassure that side of me that he knows I need to hear.
Yeah, but I also said, but you'd be better off with me.
But if you were,
if you wanted to do something else, you totally can.
Exactly. Yeah. Could actually, do you mind holding that up again and a little further from the camera so that we could see the details of it? But
so it looks closer. It's like a red moon,
or like maybe like higher in the sky. Like,
this is the serpent one.
Yeah,
yes.
The serpent. Oh, there we go.
There it
yes.
is. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
where
cool.
it catches the light. I can see the scales now. Yeah, that's cool.
That's super cool. That should be an album cover for sure.
Is there significance with the color red in all of these?
Yeah. So in the dream spell, at least, all of the tribes have a color that's like understood. If I said the serpent, someone fluent in the calendar would know it's red, but it's good to say the red serpent, because it is specifically red. So all of the color clans, it's kind of a weird word, but all of the color clans have this energy in common, that they're sort of like passing through the veils in a way down to each other. So the red clan is initiated with the red dragon, and they initiate birth. And then the serpent takes that birth energy and stores it as life force. And then the moon, our tribe, processes life force as universal water. And then the Skywalker, which is actually Joe and Nish, our friends.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, they're Skywalkers. They get to output universal water as space, which is like that plasma, which we talked about on Nox Mente. What
That's
space might be, we think. And then space gets the red earth self-regulates space as navigation. So how do I navigate on the earth, in this world? But it's all starting with the initiatory birth, life force, universal water, space, and navigation. It takes you on a whole story. That's how the red tribes are connected.
It reminds me of the red dragon thing, the William Blake, red dragon. It was like a metamorphosis.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah. I wonder if, I don't know if there's any correlation or if it's just like an archetypical idea, like sans, culture confines or whatever, but super interesting.
I'm wearing a red skirt.
Do you want to switch sides?
Yeah.
Oh, there she's
like,
wearing a red skirt.
Nice.
It's like a new.
Red is her color, by the way.
True.
It really is.
The best hair that I ever had was platinum blonde with the bottom half was like a cherry bright red. And people thought it was fake because it was so unreal red. And I had to buy all new clothes that matched for a while. That was fun.
Do you can I step away for a second?
Oh, so will something be continuing while
only
I'm
if you
sitting
want,
here?
just for 5 seconds.
Okay, he's got a refill, huh?
Just so you can feel more comfortable on the seat.
Oh no, we're good.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'll be right back.
I'm Keats now of PRAGMAGICK podcast.
Broadcasting live from our closet. So I'm loving that we're tribe mates, that we're both Red Moon sisters. That's super fun and awesome. And would you say that you are a water person? Do you rejuvenate in water?
Ears are too small for these things. I would say yes. I've always been a water person, and then what are you doing? Putting stuff in my ears?
No,
okay. Oh, we're switching. I guess I grew up as a water baby, and then once I moved to Portland in my 20s, and living away from water was very strange. But then I guess the rain, right? So actually, I would say that being now in Denver in the mountains is the furthest and driest I have ever felt.
Yeah,
it's very strange. Yeah, definitely.
You're inland.
Yes.
Yeah. You're inland AF.
AF. Yeah, it has been a hard transmutation, like getting rid of. So she's a beach baby, and then Portland I really felt myself with just the rain or the water everywhere in the atmosphere, and then here it's like very few and far in between. But I'm a desert kid, so I was always longing for rain, and now I'm back to longing for rain.
Not I. There's got to be something. I mean, I like to think that we're adaptable, and I wanted in my life to try many different climates, but I don't know if this one will stick long term. I don't know if we're mountain lizard people.
Well,
Totally.
Naviae, with you, do moons, is it basically a guiding principle for you? Because with her, inadvertently, without knowing all of that, her music is under moon division. Like, we came together on a full moon, boyfriend was born on a full moon. It seems like she's very just kind of,
Before moons got cool,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, moons.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. It just like the people I've met that already have the blue hand tattoos,
Mm-hmm.
and you having the Keeb logo.
Yeah.
It's weird. It seems very synchronistic that we are drawn to some aspect of our tribe. I have friends who are warriors and they're martial artists, like modern day.
I got a way to go for that, but yeah, I plan on it. I'm
Me
gonna Jeet Kune Do. Love that Bruce Lee. Yeah, she's laughing. She's like, "You're never gonna do that."
I was like, yeah. Sorry.
No, but yeah. So the warrior thing, I wonder too, because I get a little too in my head. I'm very active or reactive, but like multiple purposes scrambled for purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, the power is intelligence, so it's really a mental, and it can be an overly mental sign. But I love that you guys together make the chichon or the serpent, which just grounds it into your body, and there's no headspace that needs to be occupied by. Yeah, I mean, there's no fretting going on really. It's just allowing.
Yeah, I was going to ask, as a partner of a warrior, as a moon, What's your advice? Like, you guys have been together for what, 9 years, you said?
It'll be 9 years
Congrats.
in January.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
incredible. So, like, what is the secret to dealing with warriors or moons?
I think for me, the secret of any relationship so far that has been successful is, obviously this one. And I came into it with the idea of letting him just be who he is without trying to change anything about him. And just, it's like, if we can get neutral enough within ourselves to be like, hey, you know what? You get to be you, I get to be me. And if we're walking along the path and then there's a deal breaker, I don't need you to change. I just have to decide for myself if it's something that I can hang with or not. But that's not a cue for you to now, suddenly do this or that. It's like,
Right.
why is she?
I'm sorry.
Because she needs to hear this. I'm very, very appreciative of this. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm having a
That's good.
moment.
Yeah, she's
Laughing's
she's like,
a good
damn
sign.
it, all of this trouble. I should.
I'll stop asking you to do the dishes. I'll just let you be.
I do them when I remember them.
It's totally okay for you to have
normal. Yeah.
I mean, you have to
stuff. Yeah.
You have to communicate and be clear with each other, but I'm talking about who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah. I don't think you want to change it.
No.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
No.
No.
So that's good.
I can make the bed sooner or do the dishes, but that's all just and that's where this stuff transcends. We're talking about the inner, but there's also like the whole, domestic kind of orb of the somatic reality or whatever. That's just, it doesn't matter where you come from. That's just common communication.
Yeah. And we have this sort of joke that we do, but we have a loft and neither one of us can stand up fully throughout the whole loft. And I'm not a big bed maker anyway, but it's even more irritating because I'm like, trying to make this bed. So some mornings I'll get up or he'll get up and then I'll go upstairs again for something and I'll see that, he kind of tossed the sheet and, and I'm like, oh, an attempt was made. Thank you. And
right.
It's like, was an attempt made? Yeah. Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah. But like I said, those aren't, functions of a deeper, astrological thing, right? It's just, there's so many variables, and that's always been hard with astrology of any sort, is having those nature versus nurture kind of variables play into it.
I think you get to see if you're compatible when you actually live with someone,
right?
I mean,
but do you think like these things, like the warrior, the moon, or these readings, do these will out? Like, these are the things that will out. It's like it can transcend nature and nurture and all the other variables, or where I come from, where she comes from, but these things kind of push through. Because are there negative aspects? Like, are there, not for us, obviously there are, but are there like negative, if you read a chart for somebody and would there be a negative one at some point?
Well, they all have a paradox or an issue or a struggle. And getting deeper into the charts, there's something called the fivefold power, where you see, let's see if I did one, where you see how people relate and interact together. So there are tribes that get along better than others. And you can see like where their issues might be. Let's see. I think I made a fivefold power. That's like a more in-depth chart. And then going on to like look at what you are in the year changes things too. So every year on your birthday, like your calendar, Gregorian calendar birthday, you change signs, but it's like you're underneath it. And then there's like a mask for that year that gets put on. And now you're moving with a different energy. It's like layers upon layers of frequency in this type of chart reading, but it makes sense and I get it. It doesn't feel that you know, hard to really fathom for me. It, for some reason, it makes sense. People are like, you lost me, but I try and bring it down so that it's in like a graphic novel kind of imagery almost. That's kind of my take on it. And plus, I will sit with that calendar and ask it to tell me something in meditation. How can I make it more approachable? And I'll get little tidbits of words or phrases or imagery that I think help explain it, because it is kind of complex.
Oh yeah, I mean, it seems like it too, and you have like so many different facets of it that you're reading. Are there? Does it go by kind of depth? You know, for each different facet, is it? You know, we can go lower with this bigger reading. We can go higher with this one. Yeah, yeah. So it's yeah.
Yeah, and I also, we can look at the long count if you feel like we have time or if you have the bandwidth for it. But if not, we don't have
Sure.
to. Yeah,
We can.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So something that's kind of note is in the long count, Mary June is a warrior.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I turned a different light. I don't know if you can see better.
that looks
Yes.
good. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your sign in the long count, Miss Mary June, and Keats.
Oh, here it comes.
Keats is drum roll, please.
Keats is the solar lord, Ahau, the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so still yellow,
Ooh.
Cool.
but now the 0/20 tribe. It's the last tribe and also the first tribe, sort of. It's like that universal fire is the power.
Okay.
So it's like the, sun god force, that divine masculine energy is how I look at this. And the suns that I know, according to the dream spell at least, I can't think of any that I know from the long count, but they have a thing with restaurants. They've been restaurant owners, restaurant managers, in charge of people in that field. And it seems like people want to please them. They have a staff of loyal employees or workers or whatever. I can think of like 5 people I know that own or manage a restaurant that are sons. So weird.
Oh, interesting. And that's for the long count. You were
that's
saying.
you in the long count.
So that's like, in the future.
No, it's just a different. It's like the sidereal versus tropical in a way.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like different interpretations. So the long count is going from
the long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like moon
and
count. Yeah.
Yeah, and then together you make a wind. I think. No, wait a minute. I have so many little slips of paper here. You should see all the stuff I got going on. Anyway.
So like in those online ones, when I was doing research and just for fun, wind was the sign I kept getting.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I used a different counter than you used.
Well, I would trust you over input the numbers on a website, generate kind of thing. So
yeah, so this is interesting. So it says that in the long count together, you make a mirror, a spectral mirror, and that's my partner and I make a spectral 11, tone 11, which is about like liberation and dissolving and releasing what doesn't work anymore. It's kind of like the tweezer weeding when you're out in the garden, like everything is kind of good, but then you're like, no, and that it's like a little bit of a picky perfection in a way. But the folks that are 11s that are embodying the 11, like you guys make it in the long count as a couple, but if you were an 11 personally, they can be difficult because they walk into a room and everything that's not quite right seems to be amplified. to them, and they're also kind of just shining that energy onto everything around them. So it can be kind of like an exacting, I need to get really right because their energy points it out to you. And not everyone's always down for that.
Right.
You know?
Do you, so like in our long form, is that something to look out for? Is that what you're saying? This us as a couple in the long form?
You as a couple.
You said spectral mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So spectral is relating to the tone or the number. So you're 11. That's sort of like on the musical scale.
Right.
You're number 11. And that is a fairly, it's purifying in a way. So everything that doesn't quite work, it's like it can't exist in that 11 tone. Okay. It's like things had to be cleared out in order for you to kind of land on the 11 together, is how it feels.
Yeah.
So maybe past relationships had to blow up and not quite work out right. And you know yourself better now so that the 11 can work, because it's going to be constant work. But albeit kind of joyful, because you're getting into more integrity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The couples that I see that are 11s personally. And also, like, when I see the days that are, like, once you start following the calendar, you start to see, like, oh, today's, number 11. And how is that relating to my day? And you'll see, like, everything feels like I need to, like, I have to clean. I have to, get rid of these books that I've read 3 times. I'm passing them on. It feels like that kind of, like, spring cleaning almost energy.
Right. It's motivational, but it's more about, cleanse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it does. Like, we're always looking to throw out things.
Marie Kondo style.
Yeah. Well, I used to just burn things, but now I see if they give me joy before I burn them. I'm just kidding.
We're also a D.
A D on the musical scale. Cool. So, I love the D. Yeah.
A high D.
I write a lot of my music in the key of D.
Like A, B, C, D.
She's doing the 11 on this.
F, G, A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're counting like flats and sharps.
This is out of my wheelhouse entirely. So
yeah, I love this because I do write a lot in D.
That is true.
Yeah. Makes sense.
There might be a correlation.
Like, I don't know, connections.
Yeah.
Written somewhere about the notes and the tribes, or the tones and the notes.
So there's a book called Astro Music that a guy I knew in Portland wrote, and he correlates it with tropical astrology and everything. But to do it with that's next level. That would be fun. It's also kind of where I cribbed the name audiomancy from. But it's not something you can trademark. It's so obvious what audio. It's like you can't trademark necromancy. It's like it is what it is. But yeah, so that's us. So we immediately go to that. Oh, okay, 11 on the scale.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, because 10 is where you're perfecting you, Keats, and then 11 is okay. Now it's here in solid form. How can we make it even better?
She pushes me a little further. Yeah,
it's super beautiful.
So I wanted to talk to you too. A good friend of ours, Lord Josh Allen. Like I said, I told you before the show, he does a lot of wonderful things with Lamat. And Lamat, he does all these symbology videos, and it's his guiding star in a way. And I wanted to see if you could, talk a little bit about what Lamat means in this realm of Galactic astrology.
Is why Lamat for him? Is he a Lamat or Lamat in
No, I think it's more of like the Taoist the Taoist magic,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's more it's across the board. Lamat is like that. Lamat star he's finding is everywhere. Like, it's just kind of one of these universal reoccurring symbols.
Has he ever had his chart done? Because
I don't think so.
How much you want to bet? He's a star.
I know, that would be amazing. Yeah, Lord Josh, if you're in the chat,
This is it.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, I
These
don't
are
know if you're in the
so
chat.
old. These are from like 2003. Sorry, guys.
I was gonna
This is
say
what I
you
got.
could tweet me your birthday, but you know, we don't need to do it on air or anything. But you guys should definitely get together. Lamad is literally his guiding star. I would be surprised if it wasn't Lamad that his symbol was, or
Right.
you know.
Or somehow factored prominently maybe in his fivefold power, or maybe
Right.
he's born in the star wave or Lamont wave spell. But so I'll just read a little bit about what the Lamont star is. It's also known as the Venus star, and
Right.
it's about beauty. That's the power of
That's Lord Josh.
It's art, elegance, and beauty
Yeah.
are the three keywords. It's also creativity and harmony, and again is associated with that Venus star, that everything that is Venusian, right? Art, elegance, beauty, creating
extravagance. Yeah.
Yeah, but like in a lavish kind of way. You know, you can look at it. So all of the people that I've known who are stars are exquisite. Just something exquisite, beautiful and elegant, and all of that with them. And they want to make things more beautiful. They can just kind of feng shui things, and just their presence is adding to the beauty. You know?
I mean, you're speaking. This is exactly Lord Josh Allen. Everyone in the comments knows that too.
Lord Josh.
It's definitely Lord Josh. You guys should get together. He's just the most extravagant, lavish. One of his guiding stars is Liberace. Very like exuberant and all about gorgeous, but like there's a lot of wealth in character there too. And stuff. So.
And it's a yellow, so the yellows are the ripeners. They bring everything. It's like that summer vibe where everything is like, that golden quality to it.
Right. I was a yellow, right? Was that? Yeah.
Yeah, you're a yellow warrior.
And she was the red
moon.
Red moon. I love it.
Yeah. The changing moon.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Your essence is fearlessness, Keats, and your essence, Mary, is universal water.
Universal water.
Okay. Or power. Yeah.
So how would this relate to, do you find a lot of correlations within like tropical astrology or Western astrology as a whole? Yeah.
Yeah. Super crazy when I found out that I was a moon. In tropical astrology, I'm a Cancer sun. And I have a double trine of fire, but in the sidereal I have a double trine of water.
Right.
But I lose the Cancer sun. I have Scorpio moon instead, which is kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So a big paradigm shift, but there's a lot of water there, but especially in related to the tropical.
It makes sense. She's a water bearer. I'm a Pisces on the cusp of Aquarius. And then depending on any other astrology or like Vedic or sidereal, I'm Aquarius. Like we're both very water motivated. So I was wondering if that's like, it correlates. Like you see a lot of overlap, but yeah, that makes sense. Why wouldn't it? Yeah. There was a reason why they navigated those things the way they did.
Yeah.
Also, sorry to interrupt. We can hear the frogs.
Yeah, I was like, are you in the forest?
Yeah. Well, it's dark now, so.
It's so cute. That's really cool.
Little coqui frogs.
Which are
Coqui? They were castaways from Puerto Rico.
Oh, cute.
That's how they got
Puerto
here.
Rican frogs.
And when I visited Puerto Rico, I had heard the coqui frogs when I lived here before, and I thought, oh my gosh! And then they said, oh, that's where they came from. They hopped on a freight.
Oh, funny. Yeah, they got away. Shadow Magic, friend Sam Shadow says, holy S word. I thought the frogs were outside at my house because they have the window open. because they're in the like the bayou, not the bayou, I guess kind of the swampy land. I probably shouldn't dox people. But yeah, I want to think if anyone has any questions for Naviae while we're still here, I would love you guys to ask, unless it's like, what's my chart?
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'm sure she would love, to give you that for however much she charges for such things. But otherwise, John aside, Lord Josh Allen was here earlier. Amanda Pomander, Oswald Spengler, Rivers, Brandon Young, Michelle Embry, Jerry Cthulhu, of course, Mr. Skywalker. Michelle Embry, I said. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling down. But it's been a very lively chat. Everyone has had a really good time, it looks like.
Nice.
And yeah, I just want to see if anyone has any conversations. So how would one get a reading, Jonaside says?
So I have a website, awanderingwitch.com, and there should be a pull down page that you can go to look at my information and purchase a reading there. And if all else fails, you can message me there or find me on social media and we can set something up.
Yeah. I was just going to say, you have a wonderful website. There's a lot going on there. You offer a lot of different things. Can you talk a little bit about the school that you were going to do or you're doing?
Yeah. So I call it Witch School, just kind of black and white witch school. And it's a, how can I explain it? So I really wanted to do like an ethical, practical magic kind of witch school that would incorporate lunar rituals and solar cycles. So it's incorporating the 13 moons and also the 8 Sabbats of the witch's wheel. So I have a few different options and it's sort of progressed as we've been going. I started out with something called the whole shebang, and that's new moon, full moon rituals, and then a half moon magic class. And then the last chance moon, I'm calling it, it's like that last quarter. That's when I meet with my witch students one-on-one, and we do like an hour mentorship. It could be divination or something that's up for them, dream work or whatever, something personal ritual maybe. And then on top of that, there is the solar Sabbats, like we just had Samhain or Halloween. So we're hitting the wheel of the year together, and it's all virtual because COVID and folks are everywhere.
Right.
So, which is kind of fun, to connect in with people all over the place. And then I had some people saying, I just want to do the moon magics. I don't want to do the wheel of the year solar. So I have like a lunar option. And then I had some people who said, I just want to kind of dip my feet and get familiar with the Sabbath. So now I have just a Sabbath only option.
Cool.
So it's kind of like meeting people where they're at with what feels right and approachable for them.
Yeah, I was going to ask, could you give an overview about what certain currents maybe you work through, you teach?
Yeah, it's definitely witchcraft on a really collective plane. It's kind of my own thing. I haven't ever been like a Gardnerian or I've had like stints with the OTO and more formal like shamanic secret stuff, but it's kind of taking from all different things that worked for me. So I
love it. Anarchic magic.
Yeah, it's a blend and kind of like the like whatever works kind of method. And I throw in a little bit of, chaos magic in there. I throw in a little bit of like mysticism and shamanism. And I really want to get people prepared for when they open as a vessel. So there's a lot of like foundational work that goes with it before, like I'm not throwing them into big workings. It's a lot of gradual preparing yourself on a energetic, mental, emotional level also. So
Right.
it's kind of well-rounded. And yeah, so there's plenty of like folksy kind of rootsy magic. I'm formally trained in herbalism, but it was a shamanic herbal school, so it's energetic based. So working with the plants on a, like, this is, you know, vervain is to make magic go, or you know, this kind of thing is to ground your formula, and making oils and different tinctures and things is part of it. It's like plant medicine isn't separate really. It's like part of the whole course, introduced kind of early on. So
I
pretty
love that.
diverse.
Yeah, I mean, herbology has been a big thing for us. I mean, big thing for her. She's a gardener and she teaches and runs classes pretty much in it.
Nice.
She's given me a, but also
Yeah.
not so much the, you know, delineation and kind of the mystical realm, but more of like, yeah, herbology and just, right?
You know, what's
Natural
that
medicine.
plant?
Yeah.
Like,
Taking kids out and going, don't eat that, eat that, you know. So
That's
yeah, I
such
love
good
that.
work.
And this is all in Hawaii, as it's called.
I'm on Hawaii. Yeah. But you don't have to be here to participate.
Right, because you were saying the Zoom stuff, but God,
Yeah.
we'd want to be, I think.
Yeah. Well, when all this is weird and weirdness is over, I feel like we need to have a retreat or a festival or something over here. People
Yeah.
can tap into the magic. I also started a Patreon that was connected to the podcast, but has since kind of grown beyond just the podcast. And now I have an option at the one of the higher level tiers where there is a monthly like witchcraft option. So
Awesome.
people can get all the other podcasts and other things that I offer on the Patreon tiers, and then also get this like one-on-one mentorship, because not everyone wants to do such a big, you know, it's sometimes it's six times a month that I'm working with the people who are doing the whole shebang. And for
Right.
some folks that's awesome, and some folks it's like, I don't have the bandwidth for that. And so I'm giving a lot of options for people to tune in where they're able.
That's very cool. And that's patreon.com/a wandering witch, or your name.
Yeah.
A wandering
/
witch.
a wandering witch.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll make sure to put that in the notes too. Next week when I release it as an audio cast, I'll put all the good stuff in there, show notes and everything.
Yeah.
Unless you have any questions.
oh, you had more to discuss.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I'll get out of here
What?
now.
No.
Didn't
What?
you have like futuristic things?
Oh my God, the election.
pertaining to the
Oh, yeah.
election to talk about.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's been wonderful forgetting.
Yeah,
that all
right.
of that
I
is
know.
going
It's
on.
funny,
I'm sorry to
before
bring it.
we did this, we went and dropped off our ballots. You think how quick I want to forget.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So yeah, what you got,
Yeah,
Naviae?
I'm gonna
Let's see this.
thank you so much, and I'm gonna still
Thank
listen
you.
over here so he can have all of
Oh,
his
you
ears.
can stay.
Well, I know, but
All right.
okay, all right. I'll.
Yes.
I never get to be here. Okay.
She doesn't. Yeah.
Woo-woo!
All right, let's do
Yeah. You have to, Moon Sisters have to support.
this. That's
All
true.
right.
Stick
So-
together.
Neither of the days in the long count or in the dream spell were portal days, which I thought was interesting. I was kind of expecting them to be, because portal days are kind of like the, you know, veils are thinner, more information and energy can pass through to spirit and down to earth, down to us, and they're not. So interesting. So for the dream spell, election day is coming up as a blue spectral storm. So here's the storm, or kawak. It's like the
So
thunder being.
blue, huh?
Blue. So it's interesting because this is a regenerator. They say like the world is always a bit humbler after a good storm. So when you have and it says spectral, so it's that 11 tone of dissolving, release, liberation. So if you said to me, does it look like it's going to be 4 more years of the same old, I would say no. According to this, it looks like we're having a catalyst of regeneration, and 11 is like letting go of what doesn't serve us. So it looks like a change is coming. That's how I would view it.
Is that another 11? Does that kind of correlate to our?
It is. It's exactly the same. Yeah.
Whoa, weird.
Yeah, it's
for
an
the
11. It's an 11 storm versus you all being in the long count. You were in 11 something.
Right.
I forget now. So many tribes and everything going on in my head.
Right. Yeah. We can.
Yeah. So that's interesting that it's going to be a spectral storm day in the dream spell, and in the long count. Oh, it's a wizard, which I didn't bring my. Yeah, I got it. But it's having it be a wizard is like the jaguar priest is what they called it.
Oh yeah.
So the Balaam is another name for it. One of my friends actually named her son Balaam. But here's one version of the glyph, the white wizard or the jaguar priest.
Very solemn.
Very cosmic, very the jaguar priests of the Ish, when they were born, so I've been told, back in the day, they would be taken out of the modern day village life and sort of like trained, kind of like a Buddhist monk situation where they were too sensitive to be amongst the people. So we're going to train you with the other wizards and be away. And then they would come into the village to kind of like give prophecy. You know, so-and-so had a dream. This is what happened. This is how it's affecting the tribe, or maybe left to interpretation, but they were like holy people. So that's coming. 5 Ish or 5 wizard in the long count. And the personality is like secretive and mysterious in a way, and private and reserved, and that magical sense. But like I was saying, they were kept away from the common folk because they were just kind of in receiving mode. So yeah, there's like a mystical sense with them, but also that like privacy, reclusive, and they're magical. But you can look at it like if they're both valid and they're both giving different aspects of it, they both kind of say that there's something hidden, something about to shift, and something that we're going to let go of in a way, because the 11 is liberation.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
You had mentioned when I brought it up, oh, it'd be fun to do like a little election day reading. You're like, I don't think it's the election day that we should be really concerned about. Like something's brewing on the horizon that's not necessarily tomorrow, or maybe the machinations or the machinations, depending on who you talk to. It like that is what kind of breeds what's coming, in the future. So would you consider, I mean, obviously it's a dumb thing to ask, do you think that's positive or negative?
I guess it's depending on what camp you're coming from, but I guess in general, I mean, I view the 11 liberating ourselves from what doesn't work, right? Interpreting as you will. Always, to me, sign me up for that, because I want to be in the most real, truest, awesome form without any like false, no lies or fluff around it. I can be kind of direct.
I hope there's a death of apathy. I hope cynicism's crooked older brother, apathy, is just like put down to sleep, at least for however long, and that people actually, even if it doesn't feel like anything changes, like tries,
Yeah, I feel like what I'm looking forward to is the confusion lifting. Yeah, there's been so much confusion, and from every angle lately in the past 6, 7, 8 months or whatever. I'm over that feeling like I'm fogged all the time.
Oh God,
and not knowing what to trust, what to believe. But it's made me go deep within myself and really check out when I need to, and also go deeper than the outer immediate surface tendrils
Right.
to go really deep into root into what feels like truth and really high. So kind of avoiding the midlands and going high and low.
Yeah. And I think we've had enough of the extremes, but at the same time, I think it's going to take extremes almost to beat it in a weird way. Like you said, the blue storm. So of course my brain goes to, okay, so this huge democratic like upheaval,
Blue
but
storm, blue
storm
tsunami.
also, yeah, storm could also, I mean, there's a lot of connotation with the word storm and different factions of the political empire. Like, yeah, it's what do you think? Like, what do you think it's going to be a big enough change, or do you think it's going to be just kind of a more of a civil unrest about not there being change, really?
Boy.
Yeah.
I've been feeling, and from the sidereal astrologers I've been tapping into also, which is kind of a new thing for me, I've been hearing that we're not going to have any clarity tomorrow. We're not going to really know, and we shouldn't expect to, because things
No.
are distance and ballots are coming in still and whatever being counted. So kind of like slow your roll and let things unfold as they will. But like our little intention earlier was, I request the most benevolent outcome for this experience. Thank you. And I
Yeah.
can just kind of get my head out of it and trust that benevolence is going to take us onto the right shore. I don't know. I'm not sure that we can have the evolution that we're seeking with things as they are.
Yeah, and definitely not in a day. You know,
It's going to be a process.
And definitely not for a pseudo republic. You know, it's just, yeah, it's silly. Also, you know, I think people are forgetting the importance of everything else other than the popularity contest that is the presidency. It's the local governments we should be really concerned about. It's the Senate. It's, you know, all these other things. But it's hard to, you know, look past all the drama that has been, you know, this popularity.
So much drama.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So much
So
drama
silly.
and so much I don't even know, like pulling our intention into all these different directions that feel like they're sucking our energy and draining our energy. And I'll wake up some mornings and feel exhausted, and I'm like, why am I so tired? I didn't even do anything yet. And then I'll just like tune into social media and go, oh, and it's the collective that you almost have to kind of like unwire yourself from, to not get pulled down into the whatever's going on, chaos and fogging.
Yeah, I think that's my game, is to not seek the news before I rise, you know, like to just come at that with everything else kind of cornered and focused, and then look at what's happening in the world instead of just carrying that around since the moment of opening, you know. And I think that's a big deal. She's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's brutal. Yeah. It's brutal, but things are lovely, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that, yeah.
There used to be a bumper sticker that I would see that said, you know, this car climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, or this car climbed Mount Hood, or whatever, right? Remember those?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm thinking we need to make a bumper sticker for our own bums, or a t-shirt or something that says like, I survived the year 2020, because it's coming at us from every direction. I think that, I don't know, we need some recognition or something for enduring this SH whatever show.
Right. I have a bumper sticker. I just came up with this. My soul is on permanent honor roll.
Wow.
Wait, on.
I like it.
You know, because it's like my kids on honor roll. It's my soul's on permanent honor roll. Yeah. Well, you know, we're spitballing here.
Yeah. I had a friend who was doing a bumper sticker business for a while, and he quoted one of my spoken word poems. And years later, I saw that bumper sticker on a mutual friend's. I was like, wow. I
Yeah.
felt famous. It was so fun.
That's funny. Well, mine won't be on any bumper stickers anytime
I'm just
soon.
probably
but-
already a bumper sticker.
My soul's
Let's
on
look.
permanent honor roll. Don't do it.
No,
Don't
I've
do it.
never seen that. I think
Yeah.
that's worthy. Send me one when you make it. I'll
It's
put it
so
on our
it's
band.
so goofy. It's like it transcends good.
Yes.
Too bad, but transcends that. Forget it. I don't need to explain myself. Okay. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much. Yeah, we will wait and see what tomorrow brings. Every day, tomorrow is no different than any other. It really isn't. I think that Michelle Embry said in the chat, and I agree with her most of the time. She said life is beautiful. And
Yeah.
that's all we have.
Yeah. And I feel like this quarantine experience has really brought awareness into our day-to-day lives and our home lives, and where we need to like mend our boat just in the immediate. If you can't be in your house for a few days or a few weeks at a time with the people that you live with, what's going on there?
Right. Yeah.
We
We were granted ample time to really dust some cobwebs of ourselves and of the relationships we hold. So
it's good work. It's really good work. It's been inward, and don't be afraid to look at those cobwebs.
right, they're still there if you want them to be, I suppose. But Naviae, you're the best. Give us a rundown, just awanderingwitch.com, where you can give lessons, give readings. At any podcast catcher, A Wandering Witch is the podcast. Instagram.com/A Wandering Witch.
It's actually Instagram that was already taken, so I had to do _wandering _witch for Instagram. Yeah, but Facebook is A Wandering Witch business page, and Patreon is patreon.com/A Wandering Witch.
I love it. I mean,
yeah,
I love that you fall asleep to those croakies.
I know, I'm like kind of nodding off.
It's very
peaceful.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, take it away.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We have two that live in our bathhouse, and I think they're the same ones all the time. They live a long time. I've researched it, so they just hang out in there.
That's awesome.
And that's their mating call. And at night, somewhere before dawn, it gets really quiet, and there's one lone coqui over here and one over here coqui, and eventually they're gonna hook up. You know it.
I like that I called them croakies, like they're zombie croakies. Croakies. This was amazing. You're the best. Thank you so much for giving us these readings. Like that was,
guys are the best.
It was perfect for our, anniversary, and I don't know.
Happy A.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I appreciate that.
I did
want to say that I'm starting a new job in 2 weeks, so I may not be able to do the Monday live streams, so we may move it to Sunday, like Sunday nights, but I'd love to have you back we were supposed to talk about the clairvoyance kind of part of all that you do, and that deserves its own episode. So a couple weeks down the line, I'd love to have you back.
I would love that. Sunday feels so cozy. We can have the fire channel.
The Yuletide channel. Yeah. Mary's got it right there. I was born on a Sunday. What's that? Solomon group. Forget it. Anyways,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Thank
Naviae.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Mary, for playing along.
So much. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm sure that you guys will talk so that maybe we can see the charts in person that you did. Like,
I can freeze frame and screenshot.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If that's allowed.
And I hope that everyone in the chat, Michelle Embry, Sam Shadow, Brandon Young, all you guys, Solomon Grundy, thank you, Brandon Young. You know what I'm talking about. But everyone that was in the chat, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. Please check out awanderingwitch.com. Get your chart read. It's very illuminating, and thankfully not as damning as I thought it'd be. So that was good.
You're awesome. Don't worry.
It's funny because I'm like, oh, do I have to battle against this too? You know?
No, not
It's
at
like,
all.
yeah.
It's super empowering, I think.
It is. It really is. It's
The
beautiful,
dream
and
spell.
I can't believe that it correlated to the Zia and a Mesa and a little question mark sigil. I was like,
Wow.
holy crap! Yeah,
It's the
that's
cosmic
funny.
question mark.
It is. I love it.
Mhm.
Or
Awesome.
do I? But yeah, so we might be moving to Sundays. But next week I'll have Jeremy of the Alchemical Arts, who's a good friend of mine in Australia that creates his own pigments, a true alchemist.
Whoa.
I love him. He's I had him on the show a while back, but we get to catch up. It's been growing exponentially. He's super cool and fun and like really true modern alchemy. Like
Yes.
really turning things into beauty chemically. So that'll be fun. And then yeah, I think I'll leave with a little audiomancy as I usually do. The song that I'm going to end on is a track that I actually sent to Sam Shadow, who should be putting some of his or their sauce on it, if they so please. But I have it sequenced to something fun just for Sam. Love you guys, Mary.
Good night. That's all.
Hui ho.
Ahana ho. All right, haunt on y'all.